Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at a Paragon 4 USRA heavy Mikado. This is Northern Pacific number 1770, a Broadway limited locomotive in scale with Rolling Thunder. Now, Rolling Thunder, if you're not aware, you can buy a separate subwoofer and you can play the sounds of the locomotive, the bass sounds through the subwoofer to make for a trackside experience. So I'm just going to set that down like that as we do this unboxing. We're rolling straight through this today pretty quickly because this is a product demo, and I'm doing that with N-Scale mostly because there isn't much testing I have the capabilities of doing on N-Scale. Functions 28, they max that out. You can see the flyers, handouts inside. That's it for manuals on this locomotive. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so we're all zoomed in on this N-Scale locomotive. We got it looking almost like an HO scale locomotive here. And we're going to start on the front and show you some of the features. There are couplers over here, an LED light, a bell that does independently move. There's some smoke box door detail with the rivets around them and those little latches that secure it. Smokestack, obviously, boiler and sand domes with safety valves on the back. A walkway along the edge with handrails to assist the crew in getting to the edge of the locomotive. Side rod detail, including eccentric crank. You've got your lead trucks here and your drivers and your trailing trucks back here. Some molded in plumbing here. The cab has a fixed vent in place right here on both sides, molded in as well. And you probably see that the packaging, they put this little piece here to help keep the tinder from rubbing the cab. And speaking of tinder, we got a coal load, Northern Pacific on the side, hatches on the back of the tinder, water hatch, crew access ladder, and I do not believe there's a rear light on this. At least not one that I see. So there is also some interior detail on the locomotive itself. There's a cab kind of molded in there, a little hard to see, but you see some rivet detail, 1770 on the side. More plumbing, including blowdown piping on this side of the firebox and the trailing truck there. And here is a slow look up this side, even little tiny N-Scale builder's plates. If I zoom in anymore, it's going to go out of focus, but you can see there the N-Scale builder plate is present. So that's it for a 360. Let's get in operation. All right, not much running room here because I've still got to put down my N-Scale portion of this HO scale layout, and there is going to be an N-Scale portion. We'll talk about that some other time, but right now, let's fire it up with F9. So what you're hearing there is the crew walking up. Their boots are making sound on the ballast. They're getting in the cab, turning some valves. You hear steam build up, and then you hear the dynamo spool up to the headlight. Let's go ahead and move this. One speed step's pretty smooth, two speed steps smooth. Zoom out for you just a bit. We're up to 3 and 4. Very good slow speed control there. Go in reverse and check that out as we listen to the bell. 2 speed steps, 3. Confirm there's no rear light on this. 4. Alright, listen to the whistle here. Turn the headlight back on. You get the dynamo sound with the headlight. The dynamo is powering auxiliary items on the locomotive. Okay, so that's F2. F3 is coupler sounds. As you hear there, and you have to move those to get it. 4 is air pumps. 5 is blowdown. 6 is water fill. You hear the valves turn on that too, and water flow. F7 has no function. F8 is mute. F9 is the startup we went over already. There are an additional 19 more functions for a total of 28. I'll just pick out a few. Radio check on F17. And then there's lumber mill sounds on F21. And then there's other industrial sounds, F20. So there's all these different functions. And then you have the ability to play and record macro, which I've covered in some other videos. That's simply recording a sequence. With F27, you hit F27, then you run the locomotive, do bell, whistle, and whatever sequence you want. And then F26 will play that back. So it's a pretty cool, very industry unique function of that locomotive. So that is essentially a sum of the functions that this locomotive has. Now we can go ahead and check slow speed control, but I can't do a whole lot of tests. So we'll do that next and we'll wrap this review up. We've got the locomotive entering the AccuTrack 2 speedometer at 1 speed step out of 128 on my DCC controller. We'll see how it registers 2.5 scale miles an hour in scale. It's not bad. In scale, that's probably the slower speed controls I've seen in scale work at without any sort of issues. So I think Broadway Limited may have already tweaked that for you. You can always slow it down and change things with configuration variables as well. But overall, for in-scale locomotive, the sound and smooth speed control is great. Well, that's going to wrap up our look at the in-scale USRA Heavy Mikado. This is Northern Pacific number 1770, a Broadway Limited Paragon 4 locomotive. And I think it's pretty cool that this thing runs and sounds pretty good for in-scale. Some of the best sounds I've seen in in-scale. Broadway Limited definitely taking their place in in-scale and making things well sounding in terms of volume and crispness of the sound. And then the smooth operation at low speed control too is pretty cool. So it runs great, and it kind of like HO scale was when I was getting in the hobby. I never expected in-scale to be where they are now, and Broadway Limited definitely using their innovation, which they're well known for, to bring that forward. You got the Paragon 4 subwoofer you can use, and a bunch of other features, 28 functions in this decoder, so just a lot of fun you can have in in-scale now, especially with Broadway Limited locomotives. Thanks for watching, guys. No run by. The slow speed control and showing you moving the locomotive was about as much as I can do at this point with the layout state. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the channel. Take care.